I just want to give her one more day. In that time, before her kidneys quit, before her thyroid collapsed, before stress punched her in the eyes and slowed that disco in her chest down to a death march and gift her an appreciation for what life has made her. I want to see a smile that doesn't have her past in it. I gaze in rose-colored nostalgia. She sees a cracking wall of the bombshell she used to be. I still see remnants of explosions in her eyes. When I was a child, her arms were like shopping carts. I mean, she would load groceries enough to fill tummies, and sometimes I'd ride inside her biceps. It's where I felt the safest. Her knuckles told me stories. I would fall asleep thumbing through pages of scuffles she never wanted to mention, read a few footprints on her neck, and there was blood on her teeth, half beauty, half beast, all bite. My mother never barked. She said barking is an empty threat, plus it implies that you are a bitch. Not this elegant seamstress who discovered the chic in draping uncertainties, 5 feet 9 inches of fuck you, I'm fierce, disguised everything that she didn't want noticed, needled all her worn emotions into steel garments to protect herself from men like her father, womenizers, alcoholics, abusers, men with egos like thread, the fabric of time. It showed her disdain. I mean, she wove morals into everything she made my brother and me. I watched her cut a lot of people loose, but stay stitched to her resentment, made her a glowing crimson sienna. My mother was the most beautiful shade of bitter. She is older. It's a rust color now. She walks to the mailbox like she won't make it back. Her blood used to rush like it was late for work, and now it barely gets her out of bed. She's got a smile like a tattered flag still waving, and posture like an old rocking chair makes her voice a raspy sway. Now her heart is literally 2 sizes too big, and it don't have that same bump like it used to, but when I lean against her chest, I can still hear Earth, Wind, and Fire and Parliament Funkadelic in every beat. I mean, her generosity is immeasurable, and she gives because she never had a husband, a boyfriend, man to pull his own weight, or a dad and still managed to raise God's Rosa May, a single mother, a workaholic, a sage, but believes in herself sometimes the way she believes in happy endings, has learned from firsthand experience. You can't trust people about as far as you can shoot them, has had every dream crushed under the heel of someone who just didn't love her enough, and it taught her to treat her reflection the same. And I've pleaded for her to embrace the beauty in a scarred yesteryear, and often she responds, it is too late. The echoes of worthless have rang throughout her conscience for too long. She is what happens, y'all, when perfection gets dragged through the mud. My mother wasn't just any woman. She was every woman. She was every woman. She was Whitney Houston, Shaka Khan, Wonder Woman. My mother was more woman than any man was ready for, and more man than any of the ones that came in and out of her life. My mother now has a heart full of batteries. An active morning leaves her drained and leaves her out of breath, and she stays plugged into her bed through most of the afternoon and recharging most days. Well, it takes all evening, and she uses these moments to read scripture and talk to Jesus. My mother owes her life to her faith, would often ask me to take her to church on Sundays. And she remembers all the times that she's died when resurrection has been a defibrillator laying hands on her. She thanks God for all the transformations and never the doctors. I had recently watched this documentary about how often religious text gets doctored, how holy books undergo transformations. And I read a lot about scripture, found there were 14,800 differences between the original Bible and its most modern version, that there's no mention of Christ's return in its earliest rendition, that the similarities between Egyptology and Christianity are uncanny, and most religious holidays linked to Christ are pagan and have nothing to do with Christ at all. Now, with all that, I became agnostic, not atheist. I didn't choose to believe in nothing, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I stopped looking through the pigeonhole that is religion. Felt a huge word like God was too big to put in a chapter book, and I use terms like the universe now, and I don't really pray, I meditate, and I feel like if Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses didn't need a Bible, Quran, or Torah, then maybe I should follow suit. So, at one point, I thought I had to educate my mother on everything that I had learned, right? I mean, truth about King James, religious fear-mongering, the origin of Satan. And since then, my mother has stopped asking me to take her to Sunday service. Go figure. Says that she's praying for me. Never really specifies what she's hoping is going to happen. She thinks I'm an atheist. She's never heard the word agnostic. I was starting to think there were 14,800 differences between my mother and me. But when the surgeon said that there was no mention of her return, I responded like scripture, "O ye of little faith," and realized the similarities between her and I are uncanny. And the little bit of gospel I have inside is pagan, has nothing to do with Christ at all. It was after watching cardiac arrest and coma leave her chest split like a Red Sea after cancer had been a nail in our family's palm, and every man in her life be one Judas after another. These things made me doubt the Lord, but overcoming them made her believe in God more now. Maybe she's blind, or maybe I'm blind, or maybe faith is about being blind and just trusting everything that you feel. She calls it God. I call it the universe. She found it in a book, but I found it in her. Look, I've learned too much about the Bible to always believe in it, and she's gone through too much in life not to. My mother passes down the same Bible she swears kept her alive, and I'm gonna read that shit all the way through one day when they add a chapter about my mother. I am agnostic, not atheist. There are times I have seen too much to believe in God, but I have watched my mother be God too much not to believe in something. Word.